See, Ezra Denny's rated in here. Thank you, Ezra. I really appreciate it. Finally got a chance to get on Ezra. I can actually take off this starting soon screen. And hello, everybody. Let's see. Ezra Denny, welcome to the stream. I will give you a shout out if I figure this out quick. I think that worked. There we go. So thanks everyone coming over from Ezra's stream here. We're kind of this is I wanted to get on stream at least over this next couple days. It's kind of like a celebratory sort of stream. Just got the Twitch affiliate. Do I need to boost the mic? It seems like it's good. I'll test it. Let me know how that sounds. Is it any better? I'm trying to turn it up. I just don't want to be too loud, but I got all the way up now, so hopefully it's not. Still very quiet. Is this thing on? I don't even know if this thing's on. I feel like it is. Well, look at that. Max, as for being my rival, subscribing with Prime. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. The first subscriber here. When I speak up, it's better. Okay, I'll try and speak up. I think, this thing is working. Sorry if that kind of made a little tapping noise. I did turn it up. I haven't changed anything, but we'll see. We'll go with it how it is now, and then kind of toy with it if we need to. But yeah, I really appreciate it, Max. That's our first subscriber on our new Twitch affiliate channel, or partnership, or whatever it's called, the Twitch affiliate thing. I'll give Max a shout out here, Max LP80. Morning streamer now, sound recording, microphone properties level. Is that on? Where would I find those settings? I mean, Caldwell, he gets talked about on laptop stream, right? I didn't hear what was happening with Penny, but Ezra, I got to your stream a little bit late after playing some basketball tonight. But my thoughts do go out. I know you said keep Penny in your thoughts, so definitely will for you. Shout out username. Yeah, that's what I do. Oh, did I forget? Oh, I didn't. I was reading the chat. Max LP 80. So if you're not following Max, Max is the morning streamer now. Used to be the really, really late / early streamer. But yeah. So go follow Max if you aren't already. And then if, when you wake up, check out Max. Definitely a good silver and bronze player. Made the PTCS bronze finals this last round with some serious kidney issues. That is good news. Hopefully you can get keep getting good news. I hate it when things happen to pets. So definitely, my thoughts are definitely out there with you, Ezra. And hopefully that just keeps continuing to get better and better. With each passing day. So good news is always good, and let's just keep hoping for that. But yeah, I was excited. I actually had a chance to get on Ezra's stream. I don't usually, because sort of, I usually say between like 3 and 10 o'clock or something like that, Mountain Time. or 3 and 11 o'clock Mountain Time. I'm usually, that's usually my family time, you know, and then I kind of have time for a stream afterwards, which is usually like, so I can usually stream sometimes when Ezra's streaming. Um, I just kind of need to figure out what I'm doing here, but yeah, I don't actually know what I'm doing. This is my first stream as a Twitch affiliate, so I don't know like the ads and stuff, what that's gonna do. Like it might have sent people to ads and I don't even realize. Hopefully the volume on this mic is sounding good. But yeah, what is an OSRS? Is that my profile, or is that, I don't know. I don't. Dukeston, thanks for the follow. Um, except no OBX. Dukeston is on a fellow rival team in the PBE, the Pro Baseball Experience. Which I guess I don't think I've given a shout out to the PBE before, so I'm gonna do that because that's kind of where I came from. So yeah, OSRS, I believe it is on my profile. It is old school RuneScape. I haven't played it in a little bit. They just had like a big leagues event sort of thing going on. I was gonna stream some, but I just didn't have a chance to. I mostly played during the day, doing some like AFK stuff on it. But if you've ever played RuneScape from way back in the day, I think. Well, I mean, I guess not way back in the day, concerning, but it's what 25 years old or something at this point now, and the version that it's on is the 2007 RuneScape, and so they kind of brought back the old school, and so that's what I've been playing. They have like the newer version, but it's not super used, I feel like. Um, but yeah. I mean, it's not for everyone, and it's definitely a grind. It's a grindy game, and so if you're not interested in doing like some of those grinds, it can get a little bit. What they say is with OSRS is you never quit it, you just take breaks. That's kind of where I'm at right now. We just had the leagues, and you kind of just like, it's like a task based thing that you just do a bunch of different tasks and you earn points and try to get your levels up and everything like that. And everything's like boosted, so you can do like all the content in it in a short period of time over like 60 days. But a lot of people burn out from it. I kind of that's kind of where I'm at. But OTP's kind of been my next one here. Yeah, I've heard about Ultima Online. I've never gotten the chance to. Yeah, um, RuneScape used to have a lot more player killers in like the wilderness and stuff, but it's not as bad. Um, I feel like you still run into that, and people are really good at it. Like the people that do it are really good. Like, they switch all their weapons, and they just wipe you out. But yeah, um, it's just kind of been a game I've played since I was, I don't even know, 12 or 13 years old, and I've just kind of stuck with it. Um, and now, I'm a OTP nerd, as they say. So we're doing a little bit of OOTP. I don't know how long I'm gonna be streaming tonight. I don't know if anyone's gonna be going after. Um, if they are, I will try and raid into them. I know Smiley Face Jane does stream at times. Yeah. My PT versus base game ratio. That is a good question. This OOTP 25, it's been probably 80% perfect team and 20% base game. It's changing a little bit now. I've been in online leagues for a while, so I'm also a GM in the EMLB, which I know a lot of people know about. Um, except I get kind of yelled at because I'm not like super active over there, and I think the anticipation is being more active. But I'm also a GM in the PBE, which is another kind of player-based league. EMLB is more traditional online with some player thrown in, but the PBE or PBE Sim um, is full player-run league. So if you're not in that, I do suggest checking it out. It's been really fun. You can get really creative with it, and it doesn't take a lot of time. But yeah, so in years past, my base game stuff was definitely, well, I'm not gonna lie, 100% of my OOTP time. I only did base game stuff pretty much until this year. I signed up for Perfect Team in 21 and 23 and 24, but I was kind of one of those teams that just left a team there and got beat up by a bunch of other teams, like you see, if anyone's in some of the lower rookie leagues or anything like that, you know those teams. That was one of that was one of uh, that was me. I was one of those teams, but we in the PBE we had a server that we have like a perfect team server, and I joined that and just kind of competing with some buddies over there, kind of got me into it, and then just kind of seeing some success grow and grow, I definitely moved over there. Completely free to play player. Um, that's still you, yeah. That makes sense. I really like the base game. I wish I had more time to play it more, but I feel like I do so much on Perfect Team that it's hard. Um, but I'm trying to incorporate it into some of these streams here. I'll also probably incorporate some PBE stuff in some streams. Um, I feel like a lot of the streamers are geared toward the EMLB um, versus PBE, and probably because of PBE is currently still on OOTP 23 and has no plans to move to 25. I believe there's still plans to move to 26, but that might be a reason. It's also a lot. It's completely different, but I feel like I can be a good voice for the PBE, because it's not. I feel like it doesn't have a bigger voice. Like you see like if if you follow Laptop Hound or EVC, they will talk about their EMLB players all the time, and things like that. And yeah, I've been in PBE since almost the beginning. About it's on season 52 now. I joined in season 5, so 47 seasons. I've been a GM for over half of that, and you get to meet a lot of people that way, and so it's an awesome experience. Um, you find some people that you like and you don't like. I've definitely butted head with some people over there, but I just kind of say what I feel, which some people like and some people don't like. But yeah, yeah, the EMLB runs um, definitely slow, which as someone that likes online leagues but is kind of busy doing other stuff, it's not bad. But like I said, I've kind of been yelled at for activity in there before. My drafting kind of struggled. Um, so we'll see going forward. I'm trying to be a little bit better. Just made a trade in there, but we finished 81 and 81, and I feel like I can be a pretty good 500 type manager. So I don't think we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's PBE 7 weeks per season. I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking, but I'm getting a lot of questions and people talking, so I really like that. Um, behind, yeah, that Tampa Bay team, man, I feel like we had what the most wins against you probably in the regular season. I couldn't beat anyone else, but we could beat the powerhouse Rays for some reason. Apologies, I have a cough and I just can't, haven't been able to shake it. And playing basketball definitely does not help. Um, it was game up to like 100 points by twos and threes, but still, it takes a lot out of you, especially. I'm 34 now, so it's always tough. Luckily, it was just a half court, but I was guarding the person that ran around the most, which I don't play defense. If you've ever played basketball with me, I don't play defense, or at least very well. I can pass and I can shoot and I can score, but I don't play defense. Um, and that's just kind of how I always been. I just kind of don't have that lateral quickness, or ever have had that lateral quickness. So, um, but yeah, so I have a new base game sim that I started last two streams ago, and what I like to do, well, I guess not what I like to do, but okay, well, okay. What I like to do is every OOTP version, I like to do a rewrite of baseball history from 1871, and then I just kind of go and go and go and try to just build a really good team, akin to the Yankees of years past, where you're just kind of dominating everyone. Um, try to build the best team that I can, um, and just kind of see all the history of the game and how it changes using the development engine and everything. It's just interesting to me. I do it every year. I started it this year, but I haven't continued on with it. But we're kind of flipping that a little bit here with this one. So if anyone, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have seen it or have done it. Um, we are doing a random debut rewrite of history. Um, so for those who don't know, random debut, you can set it up for a random debut league. And what it will do is it will import players into the sim at random times during their career over the course of history. So in 1871, we're in our inaugural draft right now. We had the second pick. We'll continue the draft. I think we can see who we drafted in the log here. So as you can see, this is 1871. First pick was Eddie Collins to Rockford. And then we got Mickey Mantle at age 27. So Eddie Collins was age 21. Mickey Mantle, age 27. We picked him second overall. And as you can see, there's just a mix of players over the years, and it's kind of a fun way to get, see all these different era players in an older era, and then eventually you might see, Cy Young in 2000 or something like that. And that's fun. Like you see Ben Sheets here in 1871. And Ben Sheets, I mean, with this profile, obviously I think he's going to work pretty well for 1871. He went first round. So we started this a couple streams ago, and we've only got 2 rounds in, and so I'm just kind of gonna hopefully finish this draft and get stuff set up, and then my plan is to do a. I'm gonna check if I have any drafts. But yeah, Ben Sheets, Reggie Sanders, 1871. We got Mike Napoli. Um, could be a really good player in this era. Framing doesn't matter in this um, in this day and age. We of course had to pick a guy like Randy Arozarena from my Rays, and it's really fun to see all the players in this draft and incorporate them in the history of the game in a different way. So I usually like to try this, but I never stay with it. I figured if I stream it, that I might stay with it. But yeah, we talked about like Mike Napoli and his framing, his defense not being great. So one thing, I don't know how a perfect team works on this. I figure it's probably the same. If you go to league settings and stats and AI, there's this catcher framing impact, right here. And in 1871, it's set to 0, none. Catcher defense is not going to cause any impact, at least on the framing side of things. Framing usually impacts walks per 9 and Ks per 9, and then those can lead to better ERAs and everything like that. So when you have 0, then if you have 100 catcher ability or catcher framing or 5 catcher framing, you're not going to see any difference. You might see difference in block, like catcher blocking, or the catcher arm, where stealing is very often. So that might matter, catcher arm. But this isn't going to matter. And I like starting new files, or just you can go to the historical year, and you can select like these different year settings to import. I'm not going to do it right now to keep it fresh and everything, but you can see the different settings of catcher framing impact. I assume this is what OOTP does even in Perfect Team. So when you're thinking about like 1914, like the 5L, which I know a lot of people are used to, that is a 1, if I recall, which is less than some. It's above none, but it's less than some. It doesn't do a lot. So when I'm drafting things for like 1914, 1920, even 1939, I believe is a 1. I don't care about catcher defense. Like, I'll have some blocking if I need it. I'll have some arm if I need it, but I'm just going straight for that bat. And so I assume this is how it works in Perfect Team, that they kind of use these same settings, and like all use of relievers, stealing bases, infield shifts. What's interesting is back in these eras, it bans the infield shifts. So I don't know if like your infield shift setting does anything in these eras. It would be interesting to kind of see. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're kind of continuing this inaugural draft. Shouldn't take too long. I'm just kind of wanting to pick players that I know and like. So we're at Rockford right now, and they pick Josh Donaldson, who could be pretty interesting with that eye. Third baseman comes in at 32 years old. And so we are on the clock now. We have Mantle and Rosarena. We have 2 outfielders right now. I believe if we can, we'll have Mantle probably play right field and get a different center fielder. If we can't, we're going to have to deal with Mantle and not great defense out there, but should be okay. So the interesting thing is I don't know how many starting pitchers are out there. I see Cole Hamels got brought into this. Red Faber at 29, not fully developed, which is concerning. I'm kind of looking for control with these guys. Jack Lynch at 26, he could still have a chance to develop a little bit. So that's an interesting option. 26-year-old Josh Coleminter. I feel like there's enough starters where I don't need to take one yet, though. And if Larry Dierker, Jeff Suppan. Yeah, I think there's enough starters where we can just kind of punt on pitcher for a little bit. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to pick a batter. So we start by overall. We see we have George Brett, who's interesting. He comes in at 33 years old, though. So that's the thing with the random debut, is it will just choose a random year in their career to debut them. So, if George Brett came in at younger, he would have been gone already, obviously. But at 33, where his main thing is avoid K, might not be the best pick now. He should last. This guy, I have no idea who he is. Homer Summa. I saw him last time. He played from 1920 to 1930 with some success. 302 hitter, 15 WAR over his career. Not a bad player by any means. But, I mean, he's not too bad for this era. Steve Evans, good bronze card. Bronze dead ball card. DJ LeMahieu, not the best defense. He can play first. This guy is a guy I think fits the era pretty decently. Tappy Wright. This guy, Dave Cash. Second baseman, not the worst defense. Steve Rogers and Chris Evans superimposed. Yes. Captain America, and the actor who plays Captain America, Steve Evans. Sam Rice at 39 years old. Yeah, the Summit guy, we need to get him a card in Perfect Team. I feel like some of these guys I only know from Perfect Team. He looks pretty good. I mean, his defense isn't great, so I'm going to pass on him. Contact-wise, I feel like I'm going to go with Cash. He's young. He's decent enough on defense. We could go a really good shortstop, which I like having. You're still going to have a bunch of errors in this era because they don't play with gloves. Yeah, I mean, I think I usually go for mid to younger players if they're good with a draft like this. You can obviously, sometimes I think it's fun to draft a lot of older players and then you just have to keep like rebuilding them over time because you have the reserve clause. So a lot of these guys you just kind of keep for a long, long time. So that can get a little stale. So if you take some older guys, you're going to have people decline, age out, um, and then you can kind of draft new players, bring them in, and you can kind of feel like you're just retooling your team a bit. I think that's a fun strategy as well. I am going to take Dave Cash here. I think he's a good second baseman. He's got decent gap eye, and he's got the BABIP. And in this era, I mean, he's never going to strike out. But he's 22 years old, so he should still be developing, and he could be a good option to maybe improve his defense with the development lab, which we'll be using. So take Dave Cash. The next guy, Steve Evans, Captain America Evans, right there. Brett did go to Fort Wayne. Not a bad pick. He is older, but definitely a good option. Jack Lynch was a pitcher that I really potentially wanted. Goes to Washington. Positional, yeah, kind of. That's kind of why I took Mantle because he can play center, but he was also like the best guy as well. So just kind of best player available. And then shortstop and center, I just kind of prioritized just defense there. I don't need the best. I think though, the next round, if a guy like the Ray Sanchez we looked at is there, I think we might be taking him. Matt Wallner, current player, playing back in 1871. That's a good pick there. To Philadelphia, Homer Summa, there he goes. To New York, DJ LeMahieu goes to the Chicago White Stockings, and they have another pick where they take Herb, the Knight of Kenneth Kennett Square Pennock. I kind of want to look that guy up. Herb Pennock. How did he get that name? So he was born in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania in 1894. Buried in the cemetery there in Kennett Square. I went to high school in Kennett Square. Apparently he was also called the Squire of Kennett Square. Apparently he was a pretty funny dude who kept Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig loose. Got a call from Connie Mack at the age of 17. I don't see where he got his nickname. So apparently he built chrysanthemum greenhouses on his Kennett Square property, collected antique furniture, and these hobbies that were so unique for a ball player, along with the fact that he never swore or drank, gave him the appearance of royalty. And so his nickname was the Squire of Kennett Square. And after he died, he was referred to the Knight of Kennett Square. So there you go. Yeah. I never knew about Herb Pennock, but he's definitely a guy that they drafted to develop. He's probably not going to be great right now. He's got good stamina, and that control potential is really good. But yeah, he started off with Philadelphia, went to Boston, and then joined New York, where he played on those 1927 Yankees and those teams over time. So I like you learn a lot from this, just like you do in Perfect Team when some of those older cards come out. So yeah, fun to kind of look him up. I should have just pulled up his Saber bio on stream here. I'll do that if I need to look another player up. Alan Sotheron, another old school guy, not a bad pitcher for his career. Probably not the greatest, but he's there. Cole Hamels goes to Philadelphia. Interesting enough. Jim Dick. He goes to Troy. Belton Bill Melton to Washington. Jonathan Scope goes to Fort Wayne. Bobby Luff from Boyce goes to Cleveland. This is a card, if you got that on Perfect Team, that's the shape you want. I feel like P. Babbitt matters more in the base game. That's a good pick, I think. So we are up now. I probably want to grab my scouting director says take Red Favor. I don't know about that though. But I guess there's not very great ones. Is this like the Rube Foster from the Negro Leagues? Or I think there's multiple ones, right? Yeah, I don't think he ever played in the majors. I think he played a lot with Chicago, and ran it. If I remember about Rube Foster, he was kind of like the commissioner of the league for a little bit. Learned a little bit about him, like playing the show and stuff, and so that was interesting. Now, there's not going to be a lot of times that I would take Mike Leake on a team, but um, I actually really like him for this era. There's Bryce Miller, who's younger. Um, at this point of his career, he had only played 1 year in Seattle. Bryce Miller is interesting. So I'm probably between Mike Leake and Bryce Miller. 70 stamina, 75 hold runners, where I think hold runners, seeing that it's very often, I think that would matter. I already looked at Leake. And Miller doesn't have the stamina. I think in this era, players don't get hurt very much and everything. We're going to go with Mike Leake. Why not? Now, they went with Red Faber, which isn't, it's not bad. He's not a bad pitcher at this current point, but at 29, I don't think he's ever going to hit this development here. So I just didn't want to go with him. Jesse Haynes, they went with 2 pitchers, which Haynes actually looks pretty good, but I don't think you need to. In 1871, you have 1 pitcher and you just ride his arm off. But I think they just kind of underhanded the ball back then. So definitely interesting. If there's a good shortstop, defensive shortstop, I think this is where I want to take them. Craig Grabick, 55 BABIP, 50 GAP, 50 Iron Man. His error is a little low for this age, but Matt Duffy, not bad. Ray Sanchez is older, probably the best defender that we're going to get here, though. Snuffy Sternweiss, a good player in his own right, but he is coming in at 30, which I guess a lot of these guys are coming in pretty old. Nico Goodrum. So it's either take an older guy. I feel like if Grabick was not as old, we would take him. 31, I think I'm okay with for that kind of defense, though. So I'm going to take Ray Sanchez and bring him in on the team. Paul Scull to Cleveland. Bill Harbridge to Fort Wayne. Omar Narvaez, current player, to Washington. Bryce Miller. There's Miller to Troy. Colemanter to Philadelphia. George Old Wax Figure Hemming. Okay. Did they just not know how to say figure in this day and age? I feel like that's another guy we gotta look up. George Hemming. Played from 1890 to 1897. Old wax figure. He died in my hometown, and he's buried in my hometown in a cemetery that I believe I lived close to growing up, in Springfield, Massachusetts. So that's interesting. He was born in Ohio, but he died in Springfield, Mass. Let me pull up his BREF page. So here's George Hemming. Born in 1868, died in 1930. George Earl. Let's see. I don't know how he got the nickname, but that is pretty cool that he's buried in where I'm from. So maybe next time, when I'm out there in December, I can go visit the cemetery he's born at, or he died at, or was buried at, not died at. What is this? I don't know how he got his nickname. Wikipedia? No. Well, if anyone knows where George Hemming got his nickname from, definitely let me know. But old wax figure. Maybe he just was kind of. I mean, he kind of looks like one, right? Obviously, it's like a sort of portrait sort of deal. But yeah, interesting nickname. I'll just go straight to OTP. All right. Craig Graybeck did go in a draft pretty early. I liked him a lot, but he was 35. Delasky, Joe Ginsberg, Jake Lamb to Philadelphia, Matt Duffy to Troy, Brian Kingman to Washington, Frank Morrissey to Fort Wayne, Orel Hildebrand to Cleveland, and we are up on the clock. So if there is a good defensive center fielder, we might want to take one so we can move Mantle to right field. Ryan Sweeney. Played from 2006 to 2014. I feel like I've heard the name before, mostly with Oakland. 25 years old, looks really good for this era, I think. There is Lamonte Wade, but he's not as good at defense. So we're gonna go Ryan Gentry. Gentry played from 09 to 18. I remember the end of him in Baltimore and in Texas. I don't remember these middle stops here. He's interesting too, and he's a good base runner. Good personality though on Sweeney. I'm gonna go with Ryan Sweeney unless his splits are way crazy, and they're not. So I think Sweeney is the call here. So we're kind of building a defense in a non-defensive era. Dylan Floro, John Nunnally. So now we can move Mantle to right field. Obviously, there's no DH here. What do we have so far? It's probably easier to go here. We'll just move Mantle to right. And so we need a third baseman, first baseman, catcher, and then backups. So there's a lot of rounds here. You don't have that many players playing, but yeah. So I think next I'm going to target third base. If there's a good one, Sid Gordon. He's 35. It might be a good point to take someone like that. Brock Holt, 31. Matt Carpenter, 33. I feel like a lot of these third basemen are coming in real old. I don't know if it works, but this is just kind of okay, it looks like it does work. I'm just checking on my phone here. We do have a new channel point thing set up. I'm still learning the Twitch affiliate ways, which we just got 2 days ago. And so it had me set up like a channel point thing. We called them doubloons, DUBB for the AW, and doubloons. So I thought it would be a sort of interesting thing. We'll build up some stuff, maybe even within this league. Like I don't even know. Maybe we can import someone or cancel someone. You know. And there might be points in the game where we do cancel someone. Like the like a hard player would be a guy I know he's mentioned a lot, like Cap Anson, and obviously anyone that knows his story, real, real bad guy. I mean, he was pretty much responsible for the color barrier not being broken earlier and everything like that. So that's a hard one. We might nerf him, but we can also just kind of keep him in here because he was in baseball history. But I don't I don't think it's a great thing to have him present on the stream. Uh, we'll see going forward. Uh, but going back, this Jordan Westburg, yeah, the Oriole youngster. His third base defense is not what I want out of a third baseman. I don't have a first baseman though, but this is like a perfect dead ball sort of, like, I guess dead ball, but it's called the early years in this one. This was sort of like the perfect kind of build for him for that we need. So I'm gonna take him here, and we might make him a first baseman. He's 6'2", so he's gonna be able to play there. That's another interesting thing. When you do an 1871 rewrite, everyone's short. So your first base defense is always bad. So if you can get someone that's 6 feet tall, he's like a giant, and he's going to be your best first baseman. Um, that's what I always find interesting. In this one, we're not going to have that same issue. So we got Westbrook. We're going to play him at first. He's going to have to learn it fast, but we'll take the growing pains just because he can play there. We don't need power. We have Mantle, but I don't know how many. Mantle's not going to be Mantle in this. You know, he had 536 career home runs. We play 60 games in 1871, or not even. I think 35 games, and then in a couple seasons it goes to 60, and then it goes on to 96, I believe. So Mantle's not going to have that career that he had. Could he have a good enough career to still be a Hall of Fame caliber player? Sure. But unfortunately, we're not going to see Mickey Mantle in those coming anywhere close to those numbers. So we'll continue the draft here. Noda, Garoni, Hauser, Lush, Quinn, D. Strange Gordon, Ed Hearn, Terry Turner, Snuffy Sternweiss, Jack Billingham, Sid Gordon. That's probably who I would have taken. Roger Pavlik, Dick Higham, or Hyam. I always call him Higham, but it might be Hyam. Lamonte Wade Jr. So we're going to stay at third base, I think. Pablo Sandoval. Not fully developed at 28, though. If he was, I would take him. Let's go with contact. And then I want to pay attention to some defense, too. What I'm looking for here, at least on defense, is an arm. We got two Charlie Smiths right next to each other, spelled different ways. This is a tough one here. There's Matt Carpenter, who might be fine because of the eye. He doesn't have that BABIP. And he's old. I like to get some old guys. As we mentioned earlier, you can kind of target that position to replace. So let's do it. We'll take Matt Carpenter. I think he'll be okay. Newman, Dale Williams. So catcher, I think, is the only position we do not have. Fats D'Antonio. Good name. Dick Cotter. Has less gap than I would like. Austin Hedges. Young Austin Hedges. Or youngish. He started at 23, and this is his age 25 season. Austin Hedges is interesting. I mean, he came in with a little bit of pop. and he's kind of carried that a little bit over his career, but he's known for just kind of being an awful hitter, but great game caller behind the dish. Not seeing a lot of big contact guys, though. Reggie Baldwin, most of his contact and avoid K, which aren't going to matter too much. Bill Drescher. I kind of want to add BABIP to this. Pat Corrales. Played 1964 to 1973. He's kind of got that sort of dead ball era feel to him. Cooper Hummel is an interesting option. So my plan with this is once we finish this draft, we're gonna, I think, move over to Perfect Team. I'll probably like set the team up offline, just kind of like the lineups and stuff. And then what we want to do is we're probably gonna sim or like watch one game per month. Well, in the first couple seasons, we'll probably just watch like the opening day, and then we'll sim the rest of them. As we get into more games, we'll probably go once a month. We'll just kind of watch a game per sim and then sim the rest of a month, or even just a first half, second half sort of deal. So that should be interesting. I'm gonna go with Corrales here. He's super young. Yeah, he's super young. He's kind of got that good feel, at least for this era. The blocking's low, but he's got a leader quality too. So we're gonna go with Pat Ike Corrales. Billy Pierce, Pete Scott, Mike Moynihan, Austin Hedges, Taffy Wright, Daniel Norris, Flint Rim, Dave Kingman comes in at 33 and is just a power guy, so I don't think he's going to do very well in this era. Mike Aviles, Mark Trumbo. He's similar, but I think I can see Trumbo doing okay. Larry Dierker, Nico Goodrum, Phil Hughes, Tom Hare. So now we need backups. And I think the only backup that would play a lot would be a catcher, probably. A guy like Cooper Hummel would be interesting because he can also back up, sort of left, right. It's Tom Nieto, 1984 to 1990. He kind of has an interesting shape for 1871. If there's anyone in the chat that knows of any streamer that's on or going to be on, definitely let me know, and I can plan on raiding over to them at the end of this. Otherwise, we'll just kind of raid into someone random. I kind of want this Fats D'Antonio just because of his name, though. When did he play? Just 44 and 45. I mean, we can give him a longer career maybe than he actually had in real life. His overall and potential are better than my other guy, but yeah. Let's take Fats D'Antonio just because of his name. My scouter recommends going Zach Thompson, a pitcher. We only need one pitcher in this era. So that's where I'm kind of tempted to take Jamie Moyer just to kind of let him ride off the sunset on my team. He was one of my favorite pitchers growing up. We don't need a pitcher right now. Our other pitcher's not going to die in the next couple years. There is Suppan, who would be my next choice. This is a guy that could grow with the team, but we're not going to need a second pitcher for probably 3 seasons. I'm gonna take Moyer. I know it's probably I could get him later, but 46-year-old Jamie Moyer, and who knows? In this era, maybe he plays till 50. So Sandoval went, Walsh, Brock Holt, Pete Mickelson, Bo Bell, Larry Stahl, David Weathers, Sam Rice, who came in at 39. Kevin Mensch is interesting. George Puccinelli, Joe Sullivan. So the next we kind of want to hit like some of these big positional backups, starting first, I think, with a shortstop, like a short second sort of guy. We're going to focus on defense. Rafael Belliard, 80s, 90s guy with Pittsburgh and Atlanta. I do remember his name. Eric Bruntlett played Houston and Philly in the early 2000s. I do remember this guy. He looks pretty good. Good base runner. His defense isn't the greatest, but he's got good versatility. Rafael Furcal comes in at 36, unfortunately, and he's got a terrible personality of disruptive, which I don't want that on my team. I feel like Furcal wasn't that bad of a dude, though. Dave Drew is interesting. He's got that BABIP. He kind of has like an Ichiro profile from this day, but he's not super versatile. Obviously, people haven't picked him yet. I don't think he's going to be great. I'm going to take Eric Bruntlett. I think he's got good versatility. He's young enough. Albert Pujols was in this draft. Wow. 37-year-old Albert Pujols comes in to play with Rockford Forest Cities. So obviously he had 703 home runs in his career. He's not going to be getting that. But I'm hoping to see Pujols in this era. That would be something fun at least. Willie Castro went, so now we're on the clock. Next, we're going to take a look at center field. Colin Cowgill's interesting. I kind of like taking players that I know. Ned Cuthbert is interesting. Not a good center fielder. And apparently I have his picture in the game. So I did start an 1871 refresh. I guess my face is probably blocking that. Oh. So I'll move me for a second. So I started at 1871 and we were going to do that, but it became too time consuming. We were going to put all the pictures in the game or actual pictures of players over the years in the game and just kind of have it like this. So there's Ned Cuthbert. Obviously he's still in my folder and stuff, so he loaded just fine. But yeah, I kind of want more defense, but he's not a terrible backup left fielder sort of for this. He's 34, so it's not great, but if he's there next time, we'll probably take him. Doug Clemens, 1961 to 68 kind of guy. Ira Flagstead is kind of our next best defensive guy. And I think this is a guy that I want. 35 years old. Played quite a bit, quite a long career, 1917 to 1930. So we'll keep him on our team. Gianfrido, Vance Law, Tony Taylor, Dave Drew finally went. Zach Thompson, Furcal went. Good luck with that, with his personality. Rafael Bornegal. I don't think Cuthbert was taken, so I think I'm going to take him. I'll look at this picture down here. It's all squished. We're going to take him. Butts Wagner played 1 year for 2 teams in 1898. So, I don't know who's He's going to be playing on Rockford. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get, but I mean, it's interesting because you have all these players, and you can have Butts Wagner. If he develops a little more, if he gets some random development, then he can go on and maybe have a really good career, more than the 1 year he played. And a lot of the times, if you do 1871 or a full rewrite of kind of baseball history from the beginning, you see a lot of guys that um, they played 1 year and then they died, or something like that. I mean, there's one guy, I think he played 2 years. I can't remember his name, but he died because I mean the 1871 there wasn't the same technology and whatnot back then. Um, so yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys you get to kind of give them a longer career and see how they play out. That's just kind of interesting. This guy, this guy's interesting. Matt Macri, 90 BABIP. Why didn't I see him before? He played 1 year in 2008. Why do I feel like I've heard Matt Macri recently? I'm going to take him. He can at least platoon with Carpenter. That's another interesting thing. Back in the day, there was very little left-handed pitchers, so you didn't need a lot of guys that hit lefties. But with a random debut, you're going to see a lot more lefties coming in. So you might see people using a lefty starting pitcher versus a righty, or a righty and a lefty, depending on what they do. There's 40 rounds in this draft. We're not going to do all 40, though. Brian McRae, Travis Mayer of Ding Dong City Shaw, Bill Bruton, Joe Vosmick, Howie Clark, Jack Bentley, Lance Negro, Steve Henderson, Matt Merton, Jake Myers, Cecil Espy, Ryan Schimpf. Because, I mean, as you're seeing now, we have our full roster. We have our 15 players. We don't need any more. The next guys are just going to be reserve guys if we have injuries, which there's very little injuries. I kind of want to go with like a young pitcher, Mike Norris, long time A. I guess not that long time. Famously snubbed from a Cy Young, I believe. Ted Kennedy. Jeff Suppan is there. I just don't want him to be like mad that I'm benching him, because these guys that I'm drafting are not going to be playing on the main roster for now. Aaron Sanchez. Norris just doesn't have the control that I want for this era. Calvin Maduro actually kind of looks interesting. Played 96, 97, and then missed 3 years, playing 2000, 2001, and 2002. We're going to go Calvin Maduro. I want to go Suppan here. Okay, we're going to go Suppan, and hopefully he just doesn't get too mad at us. We're just kind of building some pitchers. Let's just kind of go to all players, and we're going to go like young guys. Oh, yeah, if the game doesn't realize or recognize a player's first name, they'll just throw ball player on there. Ball player O'Rourke, or there. Ball player Macy. Trying to see some guys that I might know more. Stan Baumgartner. See, relievers aren't going to be used a lot here, but he looks interesting. Giovanni Soto. the reliever, Giovanni Soto. Pat Mahomes. We can draft him early, and I don't know when Patrick Mahomes was born, but we can try and prevent that from happening. There's not a lot of young guys that I would recognize. Roger Salkeld sounds familiar. Tim Lopes. Jose Mayo Benex Fernandez. Yeah, there's not a lot of guys here. So, Armando Reynoso. We're kind of getting older now. Dick McBride, 1871 guy. He's usually pretty good, but at 27 now, not as good. So, when I'm just kind of running out of players that I want, there's not a lot left. Why is this guy not drafted? Okay, well, welcome to the team. We'll just kind of go more auto. We don't need a reliever. Carl Scheib, I believe, has a bronze card in the perfect team. We'll grab him. Usually there's not this many rounds in a normal. Pep Clark, 19 years old, looks really good. Esteban Quiroz. I feel like I remember him playing more than 1 year. Colin Cowgill. Sure. So, I mean, yeah, at this point, these are all backups. I'm just going to go ahead and auto-complete this draft. Computer manager to initially set up your team. No, I kind of want to do that on my own. And it should hopefully set up the right guys. We'll have to decide on this Brickell guy because he looks really good. He played 1926 to 1933 with Pittsburgh and Philly. Stayed in Pennsylvania. Yeah. We'll have to decide on that probably over Cuthbert, right? Yeah. So we'll move Brickell over here. And I think this will be the team. So we have a one-man rotation, Mike Leake, and then Jamie Moyer, just kind of a long relief option. Maybe a mop-up secondary. And Mike Leake's going to just go until he can't throw anymore with the 60 stamina. He should hopefully hold up in this era. But yeah, I think we'll do most of this setup just offline. Not going to be a lot to it. Corrales, Antonio, Westberg, Cash. This Macri might be able to just play both ways for us. We're going to try it and have Carpenter kind of be a backup to him and at first base. And then Race Sanchez with Bruntlett backing up second and third. Rosarena, Sweeney, and Mantle. We'll have Brickell kind of do those and then that. So that's going to be our team for the Boston Red Sox in 1871. So the next stream that I do, I will play out a game. We'll fix up this lineup offline, and let's just save this game. I'm going to go to Perfect Team. If there's any questions or anything that people want to look at in Perfect Team, let me know. I don't have anything specific in mind for Perfect Team. Little Green 5300, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. I lost in gold only, so that's actually, it's actually a good thing. So I can now sign up for the daily low gold. So for those who don't know, I play pretty exclusively gold, and I've come up with, I hope, what is a good schedule in playing the gold tournaments. So one thing I've been trying to figure out is like a schedule of times when these tournaments kick off, when they fill up, what I can get into, and everything like that. And it's hard. Like, it's hard. You can't get into all of them, at least not usually. So you have the first one, which is the Gold All-Star Hardware. That fires off at 5:30 a.m. Mountain Time. So 7:30, I believe, Eastern Time. That's the first one of the day. It, as you can see, it's almost full. It's at 58 out of 64. So I guess I can just explain this here. For anyone that does play gold, hopefully this does help. So Gold All-Star Hardware is the earliest tournament that goes on. It's played at, well, I guess it depends on your time zone. For me, Gold All-Star Hardware is the earliest. It's played at 5:30 in the morning. Usually, if I lose early, I will get that OTP notification saying you've been eliminated from Gold All-Star Hardware. Luckily, lately we haven't gotten that too many times, but usually the first round's done by the time I wake up. The next one that kicks off is the Low Gold, and that one's at 7 a.m., I believe, Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and as you can see, this one's not, it still's got 21 slots, so if you do play Low Gold, get in there. That's the next one that kicks off. The next one after that is the Late Gold, which kicks off at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. That one fills up a lot faster. As you can see, this one is third in line, and it fills up way before the All-Star Hardware, which is, you know, gonna kick off in 5 hours, and the Low Gold, which is gonna kick off in 7 hours, 6.5. Yeah. So you have those. So a priority is signing up for the Late Gold when you can, if you play the Late Gold, because that one fills up faster. You can leave All-Star Hardware and Low Gold until later on. The next one that kicks off is the Live Gold, and the Live Gold kicks off at 1 p.m. Mountain Time or 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The Live Gold is also one that fills up pretty quickly. So usually you have to get in that one pretty quickly as well. There is the Gold Cap, which fires off at, I think, 8:30 Mountain Time or 10:30 Eastern Time at night. That one does not fill up fast at all. Usually there's slots open up until when it kicks off, usually, or at least pretty close within an hour or so. So Gold Cap you can leave for a while. And then there's Gold Only, which I only play if I forget to sign up for another one. Gold Only is kind of my, if I miss one or if I need to play it, or if I have a chance to play it, I'll sign up for that one. So Gold Only kicks off at 11 p.m. Mountain Time and 1 a.m. Eastern Time, which is why I said the time zones. That would technically be the earliest one, but there's not a lot of people playing, I don't think, at 1 a.m. Could be wrong. So you kind of have to just like choose. Before I was doing 4 a day, but now I've been able to sort of optimize it to play 5 gold tournaments a day if I sign up for them or remember to. So when I start up in the morning, the All Star hardware kicks off, and the low gold usually starts when I wake up or so, 7 a.m. Those will go on for however long I'm in it, and then the late gold will also kick off at 9. So usually what I do is when I'm eliminated from either the gold All Star hardware or the um, low gold, I will then sign up for the gold cap. Now, if it's early enough, and usually that means getting kicked out of the gold All Star hardware early. If I'm kicked out of this one early, then I'll sign up for the gold only if there's slots, which usually in the morning, super early. If I get on right away, there are still slots in it. So that's a way to play the gold only as well. And then what happens is I'll get either knocked out or win or something in the low gold. And then I would sign up for this gold cap. So depending on slots in the gold only, I'll sign up for the gold cap next. So because the gold cap will have slots still until pretty much 7 o'clock at night for me, or 7:30 or something, right before it kicks off. It doesn't fill up fast at all. A lot of people don't like cap tournaments. As you can see, there's only one. It's still 20 hours away, but there's just one. And then so the late gold will kick off next. Once I get eliminated from the late gold, I will then rejoin late gold because that one fills up fast. So that's what I'll do. And then the live gold, same thing. Once I'm kicked out of live gold, I'll sign up for the next live gold. Or if I'm kicked out of, or if I'm not in the gold only, I'll use one of the slots from the All Star hardware or the low gold to sign in to the gold, to the live gold, and then I have still the 4 slots going. So it's an interesting sort of thing. I should probably make like a slide or something for it. But you can play 5 gold tournaments a day if you're a gold player. Sometimes 6. It's usually 5, but sometimes you get in 6. And then the night ones happen. Once you get eliminated from gold cap, you can sign up for the All Star hardware for the next morning. As you can see, there's still slots open, but it's pretty close. So you don't want a chance doing well in the gold only to then miss out on a slot in the All Star hardware. And then the gold only, you have to stay up late enough. So for the Eastern time zone people, it probably is not possible. But I don't do well in the gold only one, so I'm usually knocked out within the first 3 rounds or so. So then once I get knocked out of that, I can sign up for low gold, which still has 21 slots as of now, and I have been knocked out of gold only, and I just continue that cycle. So I can usually play 5 or 6 gold tournaments a day based on just knowing when the times are. And if you have specific tournaments that you do like, you can set up a schedule that way to kind of optimize your tournaments that you can play in. And it helps with PTCS and everything like that. I haven't started I've started just doing this week, maybe the end of last week. But you can see for gold, I signed up for 28 tournaments, which was one of the top played. We finished 6th in the rankings, finished 18th on average. Not too bad. This week, I think we're doing a little bit better average finish. We're playing more tournaments too, so we'll see what we get there. I recently cleaned this up. I don't know why I think it's because I sell cards that were on the reserve roster or something. I'll check these at a different time. I cleaned this up. I only have what is it, 7 tournaments, all of the gold ones right now. just because that's kind of what I'm focusing on for the rest of Perfect Team 25. So we'll get into the main team. Like I said, if there is anyone watching there that is interested in looking at any Perfect Team, I will stay on for another 10 to 15 minutes or so to see if anyone comes on. We're in Gold League now, not doing great. I sold a lot of cards. We have the Skeens and Sale, Wheeler, Lopez, Mathewson rotation, decent bullpen as well, but our lineup is where we're really struggling. We have some okay players, but just not the caliber. I pretty much sold all my good players that I got to compete better in gold tournaments, get combinators. If anyone's interested in Elmer Flick, I am selling him below last 10 price. And if anyone is selling any of these cards, I am interested. So either contact me and we can talk about a price that might work better. I really want the Hafner and Lowe for my low gold tournaments. And Tim Keefe just as a general gold is pretty good. Gary Peter for the All-Star hardware, and the Jay Howell for the gold cap, sort of as a closer there. So if anyone's selling any of these cards, I am interested. So let me know either on here or on like Discord or something, and we can talk. I do have some perfect points still. A lot of them are tied up in these, and hopefully we sell the Flick at some point for a decent amount. I don't know. He's a good card. I don't know why people aren't buying him. And I think he's in 4 or 5 missions. So if you're looking for Elmer Flick to complete multiple missions, he's there for you. Hopefully we don't get relegated. I'd like to stay in the Gold League, at least for now. I have thought about just kind of pulling over all my gold combinators, my gold combinator team, to just kind of use that in the league and see. We have a lot of them, so we can build a team. Trying to think if there's any good combinators that we can do. Yount, we're just one level away from Yount. What's it going to cost to get Yount up, though? Sort it by combinator points, sell orders only. This Raleigh Fingers is not bad. Bill Spires is not bad. This Molitor, I bought a lot of them earlier, but he's just not. He's going for he's pretty expensive. We have the perfect points. Yount would be, what, 7,000? 7,002. So, if we just went with the top level guys, if we got the Raleigh Fingers, we would need 4 of them. Should be about 30,000. Spires, we would need 5 of them, which wouldn't be terrible. It would be, I mean, the 14,000 we would just buy the cheapest Raleigh. Molitor, we're not going to pay that much for a gold. There's just not a lot of options right now. There is this Molitor, which we can buy 4 of these, and that's not bad. So I think we'll do that. I just kind of want to get this list of combinators down. Like, it's so big. So 550, that's fine. The money, no. Well, there's 2 at 498, so we'll buy those 2 at 498. But I'm not gonna spend more than that. So with those, We then have 2,300 points, which isn't bad. There might be some cards here that I don't need, but not seeing. I could get rid of a bunch of iron combinators, but we do use iron combinators on cap teams, so I don't know about that yet. There's these silver cards, but yeah, there's not a lot that we can do. I mean, we don't need any of these guys, and then we'll include those silver guys. So we're at 3,000, so we need 4,000 more points. Orozco, Eduardo, Frisella, Candiati, Deer. These are just cards that I am not going to use. Riles. We'll just sell bronze and iron guys that I don't use. I don't like selling the gold ones, but I don't use a lot of silver. And if I do, I'll use like the tournament edition ones. So ones that aren't that, we can usually sell or combinate. So we have 4,000. So I think we can buy. So what we'll do is we'll buy 2 of these Bill Spires. And that'll be close. So then we just need 400 more points. And we can actually probably just buy. Yeah, we'll just buy the Don money. And then we'll just pick up some other ones. So I don't do it super probably optimized like other people do, but we get it to work. Let's kind of come to these lower level ones. Aguilar, Bradley, Hira, Yevis. Okay, 100%. We will use all those to combinate Robin Yount, and we got him to level 5 now. So, yay, finally. We've knocked out a lot of them over the last couple days. There's some that are just super hard. All of the Detroit cards are just so hard to combinate. Tettleton, for example, like there's Cal Ripken. Wish he wasn't available before. Like it's not bad, but you're paying 7,500 for 1,500 points. It's just not greatest. And then there's just like no cheaper ones that give you around 300 like Yount was. Like Yount, I could buy the silver Moloters, the money, and get 300 or 275 or 375 points, and that's not bad. So yeah, there's Tettleton, Fidrich. Didn't have a long career, so he's very hard. As you can see, there's pretty much nothing that gets him up. So that was a really hard one. And there's all these Detroit guys. Cecil Fielder is similar. You have the Ward and the Trout, which are kind of your best high level gets, but then there's just nothing cheap. So you're just spending. And I don't want to do that right now, especially with the set coming out tomorrow, because who knows? And there's Dave Steeb, but I don't want to use the Dave Steeb right now. Lance Parrish, another Detroit one that is just hard to level up. And this one, there's nothing cheap. There's the Williamson Evans, but you're going below 1,000 points on that. The Grub could be your best bet if there's a lot of them. But yeah, I don't like the Parrish one to combinate because you need 4,700 points on that. I know a lot of people don't like combinators, but there's a lot of people that do like combinators. I started off as someone that didn't like them a lot, but I changed my tune recently. I think they're a lot of fun. I think there's probably still stuff that you can do better um, about them, and maybe mix up. I also just noticed Colavito was a tiger, but he's not bad. The K-Line and Cyber. Colavito would probably be my next guy that I want to combinate because he's a really good card. He's worth a lot of money on the shop. So a couple times a day, I'll come and look at combinators, and I sort by last 10 price descending. Just kind of see guys that are maybe being sold under the last 10 and seeing if I can get a good value for them. There's not a lot of guys that I'm looking for right now because there's just not. Hank Thompson's interesting. He's a card that I would really like. Can you feed a copy of a card to itself? Yes. Yeah, you can. So like if you saw the Fidrich, well, I guess where is he? Maybe there's none for sale right now. We can come to the regular shop. But as you can see, it's not the best thing to do. The gold Fidrich is going for quite a lot. I don't think I have the regular one, but well, I guess just one person's trying to sell them. But you can buy the Fidrich. He would just be 100 combinator points for this. A lot of the times, if you use the same card, it's not super useful to do. Obviously, there's better options, and I think a lot of the times the same card will just go for like whatever its minimum value. So I believe I don't even know. I don't think there is a minimum value. So 100, I guess, is not bad, but it's not. It's not good. See, I can feed this Fidrich card to him. The Diamond Fidrich card, I don't think we have right now, but he's sort of the best one. Yeah, I think that's probably why they do it, is because obviously, like, it's the same card, and so like you'd just be feeding all the same cards to each other, which makes sense, right? Like they're not. They are them their whole career, but they didn't play um, with them, I guess. So yeah, the Colavito's probably next. I'm not gonna do it right now. If I sort of give up on some of these, I'll probably just buy the Combinator food for Colavito, or hopefully if this flick sells, we'll buy stuff for it. Because I really like the Colavito card. We got the Dave Stewart recently and got him full Combinator. He was pretty easy to do. There was a couple good options. But this card, nobody wants to sell him for cheap. Like his last 10 sales averages 116,000. Obviously, he's really good. He fits in the gold all-star hardware tournament, which is no chemistry, but I mean, this card is super good for that. So I got him recently, got him leveled up all the way. This one's not showing out full, but he is. Pretty excited about this one. He plays in a couple, like my random gold tournaments, as well as the gold cap. He's my shortstop, which he can play against both sides well. Apparently have him on my gold league team, so there you go. Yeah, so we have a lot of combinators. Our better ones are this Barker one, who's one of the better pitchers in gold. Webster McDonald as well, really good. Super easy to combinate with NEL cards. Messina was interesting. He was super cheap to combinate too. Granderson I don't think he was bad, especially as a Tiger. If you play low gold at all, this is the man right here, Clark Griffith, the old fox. This is my favorite low gold card because it is an older era, so the stuff isn't going to matter as much. But he's got the control, he's got PBAB, he's got home run allowed, he's got stamina that help. But the biggest thing, he's got batting. He's my gold cap DH against lefties because why not? You know, he's got everything besides gap pretty much, and the gap's not even bad. Against righties, he still brings the I and they avoid K. So decent power, decent BABIP, no gap, but he's gonna get on base sometimes though. So if you play low gold, it is no DH. So this card, I love this card, especially the Combinator version, who's not going for a lot right now. 35,000. Obviously, you know, so for some people, 35,000 is a lot, and it used to be a lot for me but I kind of blew up my main team to just focus on gold for the rest of the way. But even the non-Combinator version, actually, we can look at, has these still decent ratings. He's still got 102 contact, 123 I, 75 power, still got all the good pitching. He's just better here, but yeah, if you're playing gold cap, I recommend him. If you're playing low gold, I recommend him. If you're playing with diamond and lower sort of cap, especially with no DH, I recommend him. But even as a DH versus lefties, he can come and do good. Same with Don Larson, hits lefties very well. Obviously, the Combinator version isn't as good, or the non-Combinator isn't as good, but can still do pretty well. But yeah, that's kind of been where I'm at. I'm just selling, just kind of buying a bunch of Combinators, getting them up, and just kind of being one of those teams that you don't like to face against in tournaments. I was losing to them all the time, and now I can beat some of the top dogs in gold, which is fun. Unfortunately, what I like to say about Combinators is it's hard to tell who are some of the top players in the game because of the Combinators. You're gonna see people be like, okay, this person's a really good player, and maybe in the past that is true. Maybe they've had success in a lot of places in a lot of different versions of the game. That's true, but I'm a first time player. I got a bunch of Combinators, and now am I a good player, or am I just good because of Combinators? It's kind of hard, and like, if these other players didn't have full Combinator teams, would they be as good as they're doing now? A lot of them, I don't think so, and a lot of them, one being someone that people may have faced is the Soul Eagles, who I played a lot in Diamond early on. They just have a Combinator team, but they don't use like the best cards, and so they're just kind of one of those examples of full Combinator team, but maybe not the best player. So I think there's it's hard to find that line, right? And I don't know what that is. If you don't, there are really good players in the game that don't use Combinators, and they are kind of stuck playing non-Combinator tournaments. But they do well in those tournaments. They play live tournaments, or it's just the non-combi, you know, gold, like the gold only is non-combinator. I'm not great in the gold only, but it's because there's just so much more competition, right? A lot of more people can compete in that one, compared to something like low gold, where I kind of have a full, you know, full combinator team just coming at you, and there's, you know, probably about 10 of those in gold that are just sort of towards the top. Like if you go to the gold, so I just play gold, so that's just all I know. But Mark and MS, this is, I mean, a lot of people will say Backcountry or the Millers are like the best gold players. Mark and MS beats me a lot. So kudos to them because I can I can beat Backcountry a good amount of time. The Millers, I feel like I have a really good success against them, um, and that's just a weird thing. Like because Aster 31, I think, is a good player in the game. He has his name on that sort of big screenshot that everyone uses for the eras and everything. But where would Aster 31 be without Combinators? But then it's hard to tell, right? Where would I be without Combinators? And I was eighth without a lot of Combinators, so I feel like maybe, I mean, even now, like Expos, Sting, Shorebirds, I know at least this first, I believe the Daredevils, I believe these first 11 can run full Combinator teams against you. I'm not sure going down how many. Madtown Socialist, Claydog, I don't think has a full Combinator team, but he's got the money to do it. Um, Burlington Silver Stars, I believe, are a full Combinator team, but they play Silver more, I think. Gardner's more of a bronze player, I believe. So it's interesting. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how Combinator will look in the next game. They're going to be in there. And I'm going to get on them early, focus on tournaments early next year, where this one it was kind of focus on league first, and then slowly work your way in the tournaments, and then slowly work your way in the tournaments with Combinators. But yeah, we're sixth this last week. Overall, we are sixth, I believe. Yeah, we're sixth over the last 2 weeks. This week we have 2 wins. So the week started on. That's almost 1 a.m. The week started on the 20th. So we got a 5th, 8th, 17th through 32th. We won a gold cap, which was fun. That was my first gold cap. We won 17th through 32th on gold only. 3rd to 4th in the All Star Hardware. 9th through 16th, 17th. 3rd to 4th in live gold. So we haven't done great. We do have the win in the third and fourths, which is not bad. I'll take that all day. And then low gold, we've this is my main. I mainly play low gold. Um, Unfortunately, we've gotten knocked out. We run into Mark and MS like every time, and he just knocks me out. It sucks. But fifth to eighth, we won low gold, and well, this one's last week. We won low gold on Monday, the first day of the week. We got fifth to eighth, 9th through 16th, and then we'll see over the next couple days. But we play this one every day. Low gold's my favorite one. Um, if anyone's interested in low gold, I'm probably going to do a lot more on it going forward. And then in OOTP 26, we're going to be focusing on it as well. Hopefully, can get affiliation with OOTP. I'm going to try. We do have the Twitch affiliation now, but we're gonna focus a lot on low tournaments. I think that's my next goal, or my goal heading into OOTP 26 is we're going to be doing a lot of low tournaments. We're going to be doing low gold, low diamond, which I am excited to go back into. Low silver, low bronze, low iron. And then who knows? OOTP 26, you might have cards going up to 110, and you'll have a low perfect round or something, or a low perfect draft or something like that. Not perfect draft, but I guess perfect drafts can be in there too. But you might have low perfect tournaments, where the 100 to 104, and then your main perfect tournaments are up to 110. Eventually, I feel like you're going to get that, but Yeah, I think that's going to be a big focus of mine heading into the next game. I also have an idea of like a theme team, which will focus on low cards. Sort of just kind of using different cards of the different tiers. So that's an interesting one. I got a couple ideas for a theme team heading in the next one, so we'll see which one gets used or if I have two. But I think we're going to stick with 3 teams next game because I have like 8 now and I can only focus on 3 at a time. So I think 3 with a max of 4. But I think what we'll do is 3, and then we'll have a speed run team later on for our 4th team. Because I think I can handle that if I'm just not doing a 4th team. And we'll look at the speedrun team right now because I'm interested to see where we're at. Got a couple packs from drafts, which I don't sign up for a lot. I don't like doing a lot of drafts. I used to, but it's just so much. But I did win a draft on my main account the other day, which was fun. But yeah, we're 75-7 on our speedrun team. And for those who don't know, speedrun team is sort of just kind of completing a bunch of missions, pulling packs, selling cards, and doing everything as fast as you can to try and just like get up. So we started this a few weeks ago. We won a Rookie League and a Stone League championship. Looking for now the Iron to head to Bronze. So hopefully we can have success there. For a team that started, with 0, we started just with the standard packs or the starter packs that they give you. And then just completing missions. I feel like it's pretty good, especially in the Iron level right now. We were able to pull the Chris Sale. We were able to complete the missions for Mark Pryor, Martinez, and Mathewson, along with Iglesias, Senga, Green. Nathan, we bought to complete a mission. Francis, we got. I think we just pulled the Francis in a pack. The Schmidt we got from winning Rookie League, I believe, for the theme week. And then Saberhagen we were able to pull. We've had a lot of good pack pulls on this one here. We got the Robinson Cano Combinator, who I've been just kind of using, locked cards in my Combinator attempts. And so that's been kind of fun to get him. We got him to level 4. We pulled the David Wright yesterday. And we used him to complete a mission. And so he's locked now. So he's staying on the team. But I'm excited to have Wright. We finished the Carol mission, the Adamas mission. We pulled Jim Tomey like the first week. Yeah. Yeah, that's how mine is on my main team or like my packs only team. I feel like I only win on, a team that maybe I just have on the side. Like the speedrun team. Obviously, we had better cards than a lot of those teams, so we were able to win. But yeah, I feel like there's been 2 times I think I've won a gold league on my main team. And then the next week, so we won a gold league and a diamond league the weeks prior to a theme week. So I had to move to diamond and try to win that. Didn't work out, and then I had to go on perfect league and try and win that, and obviously, that didn't work out. So yeah, I get I get that feeling there too. That's what happens to me as well. We always win before a theme week. There is a theme week going on now, so I'm hoping this team can. There's not a ton of competition, but there is some, like the Furniture Makers, Yeehaw Junction, Bethlehem Steel Pugs, and Tucson Vulcans will go down to there. So I'm hoping we can win that for this team and then either get a card we can keep or sell off. But yeah, we've had a lot of good pulls here. The Mickey Cochran I bought to complete a mission and just to have a catcher versus lefties. The Posey we pulled in a pack. Grish we pulled in a pack. The Charleston we pulled in a pack. The McCovey mission, or no, the McCovey we pulled in. I think I bought the McCovey for a mission, and then the Duke Snider we pulled a couple days ago. I'm very excited about this one. I was like, I could sell him for 200,000, or I can keep him, and I think he'll last a while. So, just gonna keep the Duke Snider for now. And that's where we're at. You kind of have to decide what cards you want to sell. We have 62,000 points, but I'm kind of at a weird point in missions. We have 96 left, and a lot of these are super expensive. A lot of them are dependent on tournament cards, which are super expensive right now. So I have thought about getting into some tournaments with this team. Maybe we'll do that on a future stream to just kind of set up a basic tournament team in iron or bronze or silver or something. But yeah, the speedrun has been pretty fun. Just seeing all these crazy numbers. Jim Thome for me hit 77 home runs in the rookie league with 276 RBIs, 20 WAR. It's just fun to see all these numbers. I believe it might have been passed now. Yeah. So at the time, this was not. I believe 2066 and 2065 passed. Right. Okay, I guess I can't see when that was because of the theme week, but he was 8th or 9th in home runs in a season. If we go to Rookie League, I think these are all rookie. Yeah. So he was on this list, but he was quickly erased from the list, unfortunately. But it's just kind of interesting to look at some of these. Is there a player batting WAR? I guess not. There's player pitching WAR. I don't think I have anyone here. But yeah, I mean, it's been fun. I have a lot of teams right now, but I only focus on 4 teams currently. This one's kind of my side team. And then I have a theme team, which is all low diamond players that I focus on. And we do low diamond tournaments. In that, actually, that would be a good one to sign up for some tournaments right now before I go to sleep tonight. It's 1 o'clock. I wasn't planning on being there that up this late. Let's see. I did daily low diamond. We'll sign up for a low diamond quick. So I played low diamond when I started this. Well, I guess not when I started, but that was my first tournament that I really liked. Was the low diamond ones. We won a diamond PTCS, which was like my main accomplishment in this game. In OTP 25, we made perfect team twice and won a diamond PTCS, so it's been a pretty good run. We're kind of, focusing on gold. Hopefully, we can win a PTCS by the end of it. I think there's one more, so it would be cool to win a PTCS in 2 different categories. If not, we'll try it for the next time. But I think that's going to be my main focus is tournaments next game, and we're just kind of ignore the league, or at least kind of maybe similar to the speed run, where we lock in cards, use them, but all the other points go towards a tournament team. So we'll see. Should be interesting. That's about it for tonight. I was gonna do a roster build, but it's 1 o'clock now here my time, so I don't know if there's anyone to raid into. So I'm gonna look. Is there anyone doing OOTP? There's not. Is there anyone doing old school RuneScape? I'm gonna give some love. If someone is. Which I assume there would be. Let's see. If there's someone with like not a lot of viewers. We'll give some love. I don't know any of these people either, but I don't think I'm in a position where it will matter too much if I go to some random person. There's someone that's called we'll go to someone with maybe a little bit more. There's someone with the name of Proudest Dad. So we're going to raid into Proudest Dad playing some old school RuneScape. Thank you for joining this stream. Thank you to Ezra for the raid over. Thank you to Max for my first ever subscription on as a Twitch affiliate. And thanks for the follows to, where can I see that? Little Green gave me a follow here. So thank you for that. I hope you all enjoy your night. I'm going to go to sleep, hopefully. And yeah, so if you're interested in learning about old school RuneScape, it looks like they're playing a mini game over there, which is fun, Temperos. So I will start that raid. Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thank you for coming to hang out.